Hello everyone, welcome. Today I'm going to talk about all the adaptations of Jane Austen's books and novels because I watched them all kind of recently because I've been enjoying them all. And the ones that you see on the screen are like the adaptations that I'm going to be discussing. So like when I'm talking about them, I'm going to have like those specific ones in mind. I was going to rank them, but I couldn't think of like the tier categories to actually put them into. So I've just given them like a rating. They get their own slide and then they get the rating. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so the first one, and also I put it in order of publication. So the order is not in ranking order, it's in order of her publishing her books. So she came out with Sense and Sensibility. It was her first novel in 1811. And this particular adaptation is from 1995. I can't remember who it was directed by. But anyway, Sense and Sensibility, I feel like it's just good. It's like not the best one in my opinion, but it's got like a nice vibe to it. It's like kind of heartwarming. It's like not the best romance well-win story you've ever seen, but it's still good. It's still good. The cons I said were that prolonged drama. The plot is kind of meh. Like there's a few plot points, but it just gets like dragged on for a really long time. And that's Eleanor. Nearly forgot her name. And that's Marianne. Anyway, so Edward is with Eleanor. They meet like at the beginning of the movie, and they don't really get any extra time besides that bit, and I feel like if they had more interactions, I feel like it'd be better. And because he was so bound to his word, he 100% would have married Miss Steele if she didn't run off with his like brother. So I was like, bro, you need to think about your choices a little bit more. And then with Marianne, she really loves Willoughby, but he marries someone else. And then she's with Colonel by the end, who's played by Alan Rickman. The whole time I'm just like, Snape. When I was watching him on screen, I was just like, this is Snape. But yeah, he plays the Colonel and they are together by the end. And it still doesn't seem like she loves him. It kind of just seems like she's like, I'm out of options, so I guess I'll go with you. Which is kind of sad to see. But that's okay. The pros is, I think the family dynamic is really cute. Like the sisterly kind of bickering is very on point, I believe. And then Mrs. Jennings and Sir John Milton, they're pretty funny. They're good. And so are the Palmers. They're very entertaining. And I feel like it just emits a certain kind of vibe that's very comforting for some reason. Like if you're sick at home and it's like raining, like chuck on Sense and Sensibility. I don't know why, but it's just kind of creates that kind of nice atmosphere. Don't ask me why. I don't know. And I think Hugh Grant, look, I don't know what to say. I don't have a particularly strong view about Hugh Grant, but I feel like he suits his role really well. He played Edward Ferrars very kind of charmingly, awkwardly, and I thought it was good. That's all I have to say. I gave it a 7. It initially had a 6, but then I ranked something else with a 6, and I was like, it isn't as bad as this, so I won't give it a 6. I'll give it a 7. Okay, these are the pictures that I thought just to show you. Also, this lady, whoever this actress is, she played this woman like on point. She was like so hateable. This is Fanny, and they take over their house because anyway, that's a plot point that I can't be bothered to explain. But point is, I thought she played this woman, this like greedy, vicious woman, very well. Loved it. In terms of costuming, I thought it was good. I hated this hat. She was like always wearing this hat, and I was like, why? Did not enjoy that. There's Alan Rickman, aka Snape. Black back when he had a like brownie hair. I wonder if that was dyed. I think that's dyed. But, yeah. Okay, Pride and Prejudice. I feel like everyone's like nearly watched Pride and Prejudice. I have a whole video talking about the specific adaptations of Pride and Prejudice if you want to check that out. So I love this version. I like all of the versions, but yeah, I don't know what to say. I really don't know which one's my favorite, but I just decided to use this one as my reference because I don't know. I just did. This version in particular has a lot of like needless staring, and her sister Mary in this one, I don't think they got the character perfectly. I don't think she was captured too well. Costuming in the 2005 version, that's not this version, was done badly. I didn't really like what they were doing there. Okay. And this is another kind of comfort one. I don't know why. It just like fills you up with like warm fuzziness. It's just, I don't know. Jane Austen, like she must have been the kind of like rom-com lady of the day, you know? I feel like Austen just knew how to like hit the spot and just make you feel nice. I love the family. Like her and her sisters are just gems. The Bennet family are they're just comedic gold. I love them. So are the Bingleys. I don't know. Like even though his sister's a bitch, like she's just so entertaining. It's fun. Mr. Collins, standout character. In every version, it's just, I love to see him. Even though he's so like annoying and slimy and like over the top and kind of frivolous, and you can't even see how like stupid he's being. He's amazing. He brings something to the story that it just really rounds it all off. I said it's very comedical. Comedical? No, comical. Why did I say comedical? Comical. I just like it. That's supposed to say compromise. I wrote comprise. But compromise by the end on both parties is nice to see. It's nice to see that they're a bit harsh on each other and that they need to come to a compromise. I also said the quips and roastings of each other are priceless, which is true. It's why to make it entertaining. Them like going at each other it's fun. It's entertaining. So more pictures. Yeah, I don't think this version of Mary was very forgiving. It was very, I don't know, something was up. Two of the best characters together are right there. And let's move on. So this one is Mansfield Park. Look, I didn't mind it. It was kind of okay. The plot was good. Like, I enjoyed them together, except I just can't get over the fact that they're like related. Look, I know it's from a different time. But I just couldn't really get over the fact that they're first cousins. So, don't ask what else to say there, to be honest. I thought the actors were good. Smackdown against Mary Crawford, another bitch. That was entertaining. The takedown of her was good. Yeah, I got no other thoughts. To be honest, she probably should have married Henry Crawford. I don't know if that's just my opinion, but I think she should have. I think it's a better choice than marrying your cousin. That's my opinion. Yeah, really thinking about this makes me feel weird, so let's move on. I didn't even put pictures because I was like, nah. Now, Emma, I love Emma, particularly like this version, and I like the 2020 version. But I think I prefer this one like slightly more. And it's just so good. I don't know. She's got everything. Ballroom, I don't know, got everything. So, but the thing is, in every version, I can never really come to like or sympathize with Frank Churchill, Jane Fairfax, or Mrs. Smith. Or Miss Smith. Because, I mean, she gets married to, what's his name? Mr. Martin. Gets married to him in the end. But yeah, these three characters are just they're like really necessary for the story, but I feel like they don't bring anything. Yeah. Her dad is hilarious. The Elton's hilarious. Particular shout out to Mr. Elton from the 2020 version. Hilarious. Mrs. Bates. It's comedy gold. Also from the 2020 version, Miss Bates' standout performance, I have to say. Mr. Knightley and Emma, I just love their relationship. It's just because like they're already friends, but they kind of like poke at each other. Like it's not that Darcy kind of Elizabeth dynamic that they have going, like where it's like kind of really ruthless and they really don't like each other. Whereas this one, like they like each other already and they enjoy their company, but it's like just little sparring matches. And it's fun to see. And some of the lines are just like, it's just really funny. I just find Emma so funny. And I think she plays a really good Emma. Like you don't feel that she's stuck up, even though she like 100% is. And I feel like in some of the other versions, you kind of feel like Emma is a bit of a bitch. Like in the 2020 version, like she kind of acts like a bitch. Whereas like this one, you 100% are just like charmed by her. Like she's just, I don't know, she can't do no wrong. Is that a sentence? Who knows? I just really like it. Did I put pictures? Yes, I did. See, the Elton's hilarious. I don't think this Elton is as good as the 2020 version, but still marvelous. Yeah, those two, great. The dad, hilarious. Miss Bates, love her. Jane, meh. Frank Churchill, meh. Okay, Northanger Abbey. This was like one I had never really encountered before. But I kind of enjoyed it. Maybe it deserves a 7. But then I'm like, is it on the same level as Sense and Sensibility? I don't know. That is a question. But I feel like it's just kind of fun. Like it doesn't really have like a good like plot or anything. Like nothing major happens. By the end you're kind of like, is that it? And that is it. But it's because I think it's supposed to prove that, because Catherine, the main character, she's reading like the Monk and the Tales of Udolpho, is that how you say it? And they're like these really overly dramatic, these books with like overwrought emotion, and they're of the gothic genre, and everything is hyped up, and she loves reading these books. And it's kind of her coming to the realization that life is not like that. So I feel like as an audience, we kind of go through that journey as well. Like sometimes what we expect from movies is a bit too much. Like it's not a good representation or even like anything close to reality. But it's still kind of fun. Mr. Tilney is like such a gem. Like such a great hero. Just he's so charming and like nice. He's like genuinely nice to people. And I was like, oh, this is new. Apparently the 1987 version is a bit trashy. So if you're going to check this one out, I suggest you watch this one. Because I think you might be disappointed seeing the 80s version. I haven't seen it, but I've watched videos and they absolutely trash the 1987 version. So go with this one. What else did I say? Also, Isabella, I think she's just a really complex character. And it was kind of interesting to see like a woman, not that she's a villain, but she's like a complication. She's not a very nice person, and it was kind of interesting to see that feminine kind of bitchiness. Can't think of anything other than bitchiness. Like she's just like really scheming and fake. And I feel like as women, you come across quite a few other women like this. And it was good to see it on screen in a way. If you know what I mean. It like changed up the usual villain kind of things, especially in Austen, because usually the villains are like some dude that like said they were going to marry them, but then they didn't and they just kind of ran away. and that they're like playboys, whereas Isabella was a character who seemed more realistic, and someone who likes to use people, and unfortunately there's quite a few of them in the world. So yeah, I think this one's like going more kind of relatable approach, more like realistic, so like tone down on the drama but like still nice little fun gem. And I put ballroom scenes, yay. So this is Isabella, and I don't know, it's just like I feel like it was a really interesting character to delve into, and by the end you still feel sorry for her. Like, she gets screwed over, and you still feel sorry for her, even though she's being kind of annoying and very rude to people, but that is okay, I guess, because she learns her lesson. Well, maybe she learns, well, life hits her. And I'm not, well, I mean, we don't see if she recovers or anything like that, but yeah, she gets knocked down a couple of pegs. Okay, moving on. Persuasion. I was surprised to hear some people who like talk about Austen saying that Persuasion was their favorite. I personally don't see it. It was like a fun little watch to see it once. The bits that I liked about it was the fact that Anne is not your typical heroine. Like, she is very quiet, she's timid, she will avoid conflict at all times, and she just wants to, like, everyone to get along, and she will suffer so much personal pain just to avoid pain in other people. And it's really sad to see, but it's also so interesting because usually that's not the kind of women that we get on screen, you know, like, especially nowadays, like, it's all like girl boss. Like, she was such a girl boss, whereas I think Anne is really, really strong, and she's kind of timid, and it's good to see that she gets what she wants in the end. I feel like I haven't been breathing. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like I could relate to Anne in a few ways, and I was like, that made me feel sad, but also, yeah, it was good to see her on screen. That's what I meant to say. But I feel like they just didn't have enough interactions. Like, she and, I completely forgot what the hell this guy's name is called, Captain Wentworth. Like, they just didn't have enough like time together to make it feel like a Austen book. You know, there wasn't enough romance for me. Maybe that's just me. Them dancing at the end was really cute. The negatives are that, like, the plot's kind of forgettable. I don't really feel like it provides me with that sense of like warmth and comfort as like some of the other Austen, like the ones I can just watch over and over again, and like it just makes me feel like comforted. This was not one of those. So that's why I only give it a 6. The last one is Sandition. Now look, this wasn't finished by Austen, like, ever. But they still made a TV show, and it's based on the first 11 chapters that she did write. And I loved it. I really did. I don't know why I'm whispering. I watched all 8 episodes in one day. I don't know. I just love the dynamics. Like, all the characters there were just like so complex. I know I keep saying complex, but like they weren't one-sided, and I don't feel like they were really going for stereotypes. Arthur was kind of a stereotype, but I don't know. I just really liked them. It was just, I love the dynamic. Sydney at the beginning is like complete douchebag. Like, it's like not even like Darcy level, like where you can kind of understand it. Like, he's just like actual dickhead behavior. Like, when he tells her off at the beginning, I'm like, what are you even angry at? Like, you said, what's your opinion? And then she gave her opinion in a really polite way, and he's like, excuse me. So him at the beginning is like, he needs to sort some stuff out. Sorry, that's my chair. And I just love the atmosphere, and the filming I don't know if it's because it's kind of recent filming, like they've changed up their camera work. But everything was just filmed like really, everything just looked nice. It was like just really lovely to look at. Like even if you weren't like paying attention to the storyline. It takes some ballroom scenes, so it was very good. And some of my favorite characters were like Esther and Babington. And it was like kind of people I wasn't really expecting to like really like, but I did in the end. Miss Lamb, I found her kind of whiny. I don't know. I'm not sure I was 100% on board with her storyline, but I still sympathized with her. Lady D, she was just a bitch. I thought she was gonna die. I thought they were gonna kill her off. I really feel sorry for the first time I watched it through. Tom, I was like, "What are you doing?" And he just seemed really blameworthy to me. But it's kind of heartwarming to see him trying to do all this to like make a legacy, impress his family, impress everyone that's invested in him, and see that it kind of crumble around him. And every time he's like trying to do it, it's just not working. But he also has some questionable, courses of action. No, what am I trying to say? He makes some questionable decisions. The cons are the ending is absolutely trash. Like, it's just not Austen style at all, and I feel like they did it just to make like a couple of other seasons, like instead of like wrapping it up, they've decided to go for the route of like dragging it on. And yeah, I feel like they knew what to do. They knew what to do to wrap it up, but they didn't. So that's disappointing. The other con is the Parkers didn't really seem like related. Like it seemed like Tom and Sydney were related, and Diana and Diana and Arthur were related because they're like kind of the babbling hypochondriacs. But them, like, you don't see them like all as a family like interacting that often. And I kind of forgot that they were all related, like all siblings sometimes. Other than that, I really liked it. And that is all I have. Yeah. I've fallen down a little bit of an Austen rabbit hole recently, so I've been really invested in all of them. But I hope you enjoyed seeing me talk about all of them. She only had 6 published works during her lifetime, I believe. And they're all here, plus Sandition. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.